Okay, friends, so there are the noodles boiling according to package instructions, which is boiling water for 10 minutes. Timer just went off for my 10-minute mark. And then my hamburger is up here in the microwave cooking thoroughly, so I need to chop it. And then I'll be ready to start my lasagna. Hello family and friends and fellow YouTubers, it's Kim here from Kim's Country Corner. And as you can tell, I am out at the Hancock Homestead and I am in the kitchen because I have some cooking to do. It is Christmas Eve. In other words, it's the night before Christmas Eve. And tomorrow will be the day that the Hancocks will get together to have their celebration. We will be going over to Matt and Karen's home, and the grandchildren, of course, will be there. Katie's coming up from Columbia. John will go over with us, and we will be having what we call the Hancock celebration because, of course, Karen was a Hancock before she married a Kendrick. But anyway, so I am so looking forward to our small family gathering tomorrow. And on our Christmas Eve, we always have lasagna for two reasons. First of all, everyone loves my lasagna. And second of all, it's something that I can fix ahead of time so that on Christmas Eve, I can enjoy the day. And then there's usually leftovers for Christmas Day. So, and I'm also going to be taking some down to my brother and my sister for our sibling celebration on Saturday or Sunday. I think I'm traveling down on Saturday and then we're going to have our celebration on Sunday. But anyway, so I'm going to be making up 2 lasagnas. And I thought that I would share with you all how I do it. And I've done videos about how I've done my lasagna before. But I thought this time, while I'm doing it, I would also share some of our favorite Christmas traditions. And having lasagna on Christmas Eve is one of our favorite Christmas traditions. So anyway, let me run through the ingredients real quick. I like to use the cremette lasagna noodles. I'm not sure that there's really a difference in the lasagna noodles. This is just always the box I grab. And then I like to take a big thing of ragu sauce and mix it with about 3 pounds of cooked, drained, and then chopped up crumbly hamburger. So this is a mixture of ragu sauce and hamburger, okay? And then I use 4 kinds of cheeses. Sometimes it's referred to as 4 cheese lasagna. And that's because I use the ricotta cheese, the cottage cheese, mozzarella cheese, and then Parmesan cheese. So those will be my 4 cheeses that I will be using. And basically it's just a matter of layering these ingredients. So I'm going to go ahead and start, and I usually start by putting just plain ragu sauce on the bottom to act as kind of like a cushion for the noodles to set on. So let me get that done. And I'm just going to do 1 lasagna at a time. So there's some sauce on the bottom to act as a cushion for my noodles. Okay. Okay, so I have my ragu sauce in there for my noodles, and I'm just going to layer in 3 noodles going across. And I just cook the noodles according to the package instructions. You just basically boil them for 10 minutes. Okay, and then I will be putting on another layer of sauce, and this time it will be the meat sauce. and I always make a mess. Anybody else out there messy cooks? Okay, so here's the first layer of the noodles and sauce, and then I like to dab on. Oh my goodness, Kim. Okay, and then I like to dab on the ricotta, and I just dab 3 large dabs going across, and where I think you will be cutting it. Like you can kind of, you know you're going to be cutting there, and you're going to be cutting there and cutting there, and so you just make sure that each of your cutting sections has a dab on it. Okay, so having lasagna as our Christmas Eve meal is one of the Hancock's family tradition. What do you guys have for your Christmas Eve meal and your Christmas Day meal? We don't go real big on the food at Christmas Eve and Christmas Day because we always do the big food meals on Thanksgiving, as you saw. We do our ham, our turkey, our chicken, and all the fixings of scalloped potato and stuffing. We do all of that at Thanksgiving. So lasagna is a nice alternative to that for Christmas. And plus, like I said, I can pre-make it. Alright, so tell me what your Christmas Eve and Christmas Day meal is. And then here's something else is when I was growing up as a kid, my mom used to like to do chili on Christmas Eve. Once again, because it was something she could fix ahead of time. And we all loved my mom's chili. And we loved the crackers and the summer sausage that went along with it. And then we would open presents to each other on Christmas Eve. And then on Christmas Day was the day that Santa came. Santa would come that night, and we would have Santa's presents on Christmas Day. So presents to each other were done on Christmas Eve, and then presents from Santa was done on Christmas Day. Alright, so I have my ricotta on. Now I need to do my cottage cheese, and I do the same thing. I just kind of dab it pretty much over the top of the ricotta. Okay. Of course, we always put up a tree. Now, I did not put up a tree this year. For those of you who have been watching my videos, you've heard me say this about 3 times now. But I did not put up a tree this year, either here or at my apartment, because I'm leaving the day after Christmas to go down to my brother and sister's, well, my brother's house. My sister's going to be down there with her RV. And then on the Monday after our celebration on Sunday, we are heading on an RV trip. And we were going to go down to Texas and then up to New Mexico and over to California. But California has closed its borders, and you have to go through all of this COVID testing and quarantine and everything, which is fine. I don't blame them. But my sister, I think, is looking at maybe having us go down through Texas, because we do have reservations at Big Bend National Park in Texas. And then after we get finished at Big Bend, then we're thinking about coming back up and going east along the Gulf and maybe end up in Louisiana and Florida. I'm just kind of leaving that up to my sister. I'm just planning on getting in the passenger seat, and wherever she drives me, that's where I'm going to go. Because I really don't care where we go. I'm just so excited to be able to go somewhere warm during January and February and to spend time with my sister. So I'm just along for the ride, as they say. Okay, so I have the ricotta, I have the cottage cheese, and now I'm going to put on a layer of mozzarella cheese. So, when you guys give gifts, how do you do your gifts? Like, do you have a certain number that you try to stick to? Do you give food items? Do you give personal items? Do you do the gift card route? So there's a rhyme that I always remember I would think about whenever I was buying for my children. And it ends up with 7 gifts. Now, you wouldn't have to do all of these for the rhyme. I know I usually did. But it goes, for a child you should buy something they want, something they need, something to wear, something to read, something to do, something for me, something for family. So there would be 7 gifts altogether. And of course, the something they want, you know, all children make out that Christmas list, and they're just, you know, the rhyme just suggests that you try to pick out one, you know, one thing that the child's really wanting. And then something they need. And for us, the something they need was always a new pair of tennis shoes. They always needed new tennis shoes about Christmas time for the upcoming basketball season, because they all 3 played basketball. So that was usually the something they need. And then something they want, something they need. Something to wear, and that would usually be a shirt, you know, or a pair of slacks or an outfit. Something to read. My kids were very avid readers, so there was always a book on their Christmas list. Okay, something to do, and that was usually like art activities, some kind of crafting materials, art supplies, crafting materials, a hobby gift, you know, something like that. Something for me, that would be like a personalized gift, like a special ornament that was significant to just them. That's what I would usually do as an ornament, but it could be anything. You know, a charm for their charm bracelet. And then something for family. And that was usually a game, okay, for, you know, that the whole family could share. Okay, so let me go back to my lasagna here real quick. I am getting ready for the next layer. So I've done a layer of noodles, sauce, 3 of the cheeses, the ricotta, the cottage, and the mozzarella. I usually don't do the Parmesan until the very end. So now I'm ready for my next layer of noodles. All right. So, so that's the children's gift guide that I would use. And then now that they're older, now that I still use that rule for my grandchildren. But now that my children are older, I usually do the gift card route, hoping that they will buy what they want or what they need, you know, because they know what they want, and a gift card helps to fulfill that wish. Now, sometimes I'll still throw in a surprise. I always throw in a surprise with the gift cards. You know, something simple, like a pair of socks or a scarf or, you know, a shirt maybe. Some candy, you know, they all have their favorite candies. So I usually try to throw in some surprises to go along with the gift cards. But, you know, in this day and age, you just don't want to waste money, especially this year. And so, you know, gift cards are practical. They may not be all, you know, surprised or, you know, too personal, but they're practical. And, you know, my kids enjoy getting them because then they can buy what they want and get what they need. And so, yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and keep working on this lasagna. My mom loved Christmas, and I guess that's where I get my love for Christmas. I know I always just buy too much for the grandkids. I try to cut back, but it's just so hard to do. I had a friend at school, a teacher friend at school, that always said that their rule was 3 gifts. To have 3 gifts was good enough for Jesus. It was good enough for anybody. And I don't know, I will always remember that because I think that's a really good rule. You know, kind of 3 gifts is nice. You do a couple small things and then maybe something big, and it's a nice number. And she's right, you know, Jesus received 3 gifts from the kings, and you know, and so it should be good enough for us too. Anyway, just if you have time and you want to comment, leave me a comment on how you do your gift giving and what your special meals are, and if you have any special traditions. You know, putting up the Christmas tree is always a lot of fun around here. We usually do that the weekend of Thanksgiving so that we can have it up the whole month of December. Plus nowadays, you know, that's when Katie's home, and she likes to help decorate. She did one in her apartment this year. It was really pretty. And then of course the stockings. I usually have candy for the stockings. This year I didn't do any of that, and I'll have to say I kind of missed it. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this trip, but I did really miss decorating for Christmas and putting up all the tree and the ornaments, and remembering all the special events that went with the ornaments and who gave them to me. But you know, I mean, Christmas will come again. It'll be here next year too, and I'll get to do it then. And Karen will have her tree up, so I'll get to enjoy all of their decorations. The kids came over the other day and we made homemade ornaments. That was always a lot of fun. But we like to do the gingerbread houses. We like to decorate them and spend family time together. We help the grandkids to decorate, and we usually do that on Thanksgiving weekend too. And so usually we have Thanksgiving on Thursday, and then on Friday we put up the tree, and then on Saturday we will do our gingerbread houses. But none of that worked out this year. First of all, Thanksgiving weekend this year was really, really busy. So yeah, but this year Thanksgiving was a little bit different. Because Paul and Edna had come up earlier in the month when he had time off, so we did our Hancock Thanksgiving early in the month. And then on actual Thanksgiving Day, John and I went down to Katie's for lunch, and then we went on down to my brother's house to meet up with my sister for the supper meal. And I think if you watch the video, you will see all of that. I did a Thanksgiving video, and all of that's on there. But usually at Thanksgiving, we do our Thanksgiving meal on Thursday, then we put up the tree on Friday, and then we do the gingerbread houses on Saturday. And this year it just did not work out for us to do that this year. But, you know, there's always next year. This year was a little bit different for a lot of reasons. You know, I mean, first we're all dealing with this COVID pandemic, and we're dealing with the politicians and their wishy-washy decisions. And, you know, so all the restrictions that go along with the COVID pandemic. So this is just a very, very different year. And, you know, we just had to make adjustments because of it. And that's okay. We have vaccines coming, and hope is on the way. And hopefully these politicians will make some decisions about how they're going to help us American people out, and we'll get help somehow. So just a very, very different year. 2020 was a very different year, but it's almost over. It's almost over. So let's all pray that 2021 is going to be better. Alright, so as you can see, all I'm doing is just layering things. So I did my noodles, I have my meat sauce, I'm back to my cheeses again. Okay, but this is layer number 3 that we are on, so. I'll never forget the first Christmas that my daughter-in-law, Edna, came home. She wanted to know how to make my chili. Paul had talked about my chili, and she wanted to know how I made my chili. So I was telling her, I said, you know, you brown the hamburger and drain it, and she's like, okay, I know how to do that. And I said, and then you open a can of chili beans. Okay, you open a can of diced tomatoes. Okay, you can either use tomato soup or you can use tomato juice. And she was like, okay. And I said, and you just put all that in a pan and stir it together and add a little bit of chili seasoning to it. She says, so in other words, I just cook hamburger and then open a bunch of cans. I was like, yep, that's basically all you do to make chili. And so, anyway, Paul knows how to make good chili himself. And I told her that. I said, don't you let him fool you into making chili. I said, he makes good chili himself. So, anyway. And that's pretty much with lasagna. You know, I mean, after you cook the hamburger and you mix in the sauces, the spaghetti sauces, and then you cook your noodles, you know, the rest of it's just a matter of layering the ingredients. It's really not that hard. And it's something that you can fix ahead of time, and it stays good. Lots of leftovers. All right, there we go. Another layer of mozzarella. Guys, did you get me to talking? And I forgot my mozzarella on the other layer. I did, didn't I? Ah. Oh well. Nobody will know. Nobody will know that I missed a layer of my mozzarella. Another good thing about lasagna, you can make a tiny mistake and nobody will even know. Alright, and then, actually I am going to have 4 layers of noodles. Okay, so then the last layer, you put your noodles on, like so. And like so. Okay, this is my top layer. And then I just kind of spread that sauce evenly. Like so. So that my noodles will be moist. Alright, and then this layer just gets mozzarella cheese. This is my very, very top, so I just need mozzarella cheese on here. And a thin layer. This top doesn't get a whole lot. Alright, and then on this layer, I'm going to get a little bit more down here at this end. Alright, and then on this layer, on the very last layer, is where I add the Parmesan. And I just sprinkle it on thickly. Sometimes I even take the lid off and just kind of sprinkle it on. Whoops. Yep, messy cook here. Alright, and then what I'll do is I will put some aluminum foil over this and put it in the icebox, and then tomorrow when I get to Karen's we will bake it at 350 for an hour to an hour and a half, just whenever we get ready to eat. Alright, so, okay, well, as you can see, I have my lasagna all ready to be covered up with some aluminum foil. All ready to take over to Karen's for our Christmas Eve celebration. I'll be making another pan full to take down to my brother's house for our sibling celebration. And then tomorrow and Friday I just get to enjoy myself and don't have to worry about cooking. Karen's going to be making some Texas toast with cheese to go along with it. I think she usually fixes a salad. And then Jody down at Steve's will be doing the Texas toast and the salad. So all I have to worry about is the lasagna. They'll worry about the side dishes. Okay, well, I really enjoyed talking to you during this time. It helped to speed up the process a little bit, you know. It was like having a friend in the kitchen with me. And I hope that everyone out there has a very Merry Christmas. I hope everyone is able to be safe, healthy, and happy. My thoughts and my prayers go out to all people who are suffering with this COVID-19, whether it is a person directly affected by it or whether it is a person that's indirectly affected because of a family member having it. My thoughts and prayers just go out to the whole world tonight that we're going to overcome this COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm very hopeful for a happy 2021. And I want to wish everyone out there a happy new year for the upcoming year. And I just want to say thank you to all of my subscribers, all of the ones that have been there with me since 2015. I've been doing this for 5 years now. And I appreciate all the subscribers that have been with me since the beginning. And I appreciate all of my new subscribers. I'm very pleased to say that my channel has been growing, slowly but consistently growing. So I'm very happy with that. And I appreciate all of your views. I appreciate all of your hitting that like button and all of your comments and all of your feedback. And I just appreciate you, my subscribers, and sending out lots of love to my family and to my friends, and peace to the whole world, and health, good health to the whole world. Alright, so this is it for this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you want to know more about what's going on in my corner of the world, hit that subscribe button to Kilm's Country Corner. Alright, talk to y'all later. Bye for now.